All right, that was the recruiter, and the job offer finally came in. That is my 4th job offer in 4 days, which is just incredible, especially because this job offer came in at $10,000 above my asking price. A few months ago, I got pretty serious about wanting to upgrade my career. I'd taken steps to get promoted at my current job and applied to 1 or 2 internal job postings. But what I didn't tell my manager is that I also applied to a lot of other job positions at outside companies. Now, over the course of weeks, I went through maybe 20 interviews, which eventually came down to me getting 4 job offers in 4 days. But before we get to how I got those job offers and how I handled them, let's talk about the benefits of having multiple job offers. James, why are you being so greedy? I'm sitting here with 1 job offer and you're talking about getting 4? Well, it's true, you only need 1 job offer. But when you're applying for jobs, I still find it's important to cast a wide net. Now, that doesn't mean I'm gonna apply for a job that I never wanted in the first place. But if it sounds interesting enough, I apply and I make up my mind once I have the details that come with that official offer letter. But say you do already know the exact job you want. Well, then I still suggest applying for multiple jobs in that general area. And that's for 3 main reasons. The first of those reasons is that it's just good practice. Interviews can be very different for each job position you go for, and there's nothing like real world practice to get you that kind of experience. Now, the second reason is that it can give you kind of a going rate for what a company is willing to pay for your skills. Sure, you can find some of these details online, but it's hard to find accurate numbers that you can really trust. Not all salaries come down to a simple calculation either. Now, especially depending on the job market, it could be that you're getting the average rate, but if job demand is up and worker supply is down, like it is right now for some industries, then that average rate you read about online might be quite a bit lower than what a company is actually willing to pay for you right now. And that takes us to the third and most important reason to get multiple job offers. And that is to give you some leverage when it comes to negotiating. Negotiating your salary, negotiating benefits, and really just anything that you want to negotiate with that new employer. Now, you can sell your skills for days to try to bump that salary, but the best tool is to simply show that another company is willing to pay more for you, and if another company wants you, they're going to need to match or exceed that salary. So, with that being said, how did I get 4 job offers in 4 days? Well, let's take a stroll back in time to that final week before accepting one of those job offers. By the time I reached that week, I'd made it through the final round of interviews for 4 companies and had 1 more scheduled for that morning. But just about 10 minutes before that interview, I received my first job offer. So that was a recruiter for one of the 5 jobs I've been going for over the last couple weeks. Now I've gotten this job offer. I'm hoping to get a couple more actually before the end of the week. Now she said I need to get back to them by Friday end of day. It is Tuesday at about 11:30, giving me a little more like 3.5 days before I need to get back. So I'll get into a few more details here in a bit, but first I've got one final interview set up for the job that I'm actually the most interested in getting. And that's gonna start here in just about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go get ready for that. So that actually went pretty well. I guess we'll see. I'm kind of expecting a call within the next day or 2, so we'll find out. But in the meantime, I do need to get back to work. At that point, it was just a waiting game. I had finished all my interviews and I was just waiting to hear back from the rest of the jobs. Throughout the rest of that day, I received a few calls, some with some good news, and some with some not so good news. I even heard back from the job that I had interviewed for that morning, but with a catch. Okay, so this is just a verbal offer. There's no written offer letter yet. Is that verbal job offer any good? Well, No, no, it's not. Talk is cheap and doesn't mean much. Now, you can use it as a general guideline for what to expect, but really you can't use it to negotiate any more than you can use a magical salary that you pulled out of nowhere, okay? Depending on the company, there's usually different people who need to agree to all of the job details before an official offer letter can be sent out, which might explain why you've gotten a verbal offer. Okay? It could be that some of the parties are good with that offer, but they still need to get it cleared by a different area, and they didn't want to take the risk of losing you to another job offer in the meantime. So for how generally worthless a verbal job offer is, it can be a good sign. And it can be enough to get the wheels turning at a different company who might be dragging their feet a little when it comes to getting a job offer to you. For the next 2 days, it was back to the waiting game for me. I had received 2 offer letters by that time, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. On that next day though, I got a call out of nowhere for a job that I honestly considered to be a lost cause. Which, side note here, it is crazy how often something like this happens. For example, in this job search, I had an interview that went great. Like, I've never walked out of an interview feeling better in my life. And to this day, I still have not heard back from that company. Thanks, Chase, you missed out. And then there was this other interview, just a train wreck of an interview. But this god-awful interview ended up getting me a job offer from that company. And that brings us to Friday. Well, I talked to the recruiter again last night, and at this point she seems to have no idea when or honestly even if I will get a job offer, which sucks. You know, this is the job I was the most excited about out of all of them. Honestly, I'm just thinking of accepting the job offer for now at my current company, and if this new one pans out and it is as good as they say it's going to be, I'll just call up my first company, say, hey, you know that job offer I accepted? Never mind? I feel like an asshole. I don't even know if I can do that. Can you do this? Well, yeah, you can. Right? You don't have to go to a job once you've accepted their job offer. Now, some things you might want to think about are whether or not you're going to be burning bridges with that company. If you say you're gonna go take a job and they go through the effort of doing a background check and going through all the paperwork, and then at the last minute you say, never mind, they're gonna remember you, okay? That's gonna go on your record at that company. They're gonna, this guy backed out and he's a douche. Right? They're gonna remember that. If you have any intention of going back to that company at a later date, just don't do this, okay? But if you're 100% positive that you're never gonna go to this company, there's really no reason why you can't back out of a job once you said you want it. But just think about the relationships that you might be hurting were you to do that. Although I needed to respond to the job offer that day, I decided to wait a little bit longer, but planned to accept the job offer if nothing came in by 4 o'clock. I had kind of lost hope that anything would even happen with this new job offer, which, for whatever reason, is when things tend to happen for me. Which is exactly what happened in this case. All right, that was the recruiter, finally. Got back to me, and the job offer finally came in. That is such a relief. It's coming up on time, but that is my 4th job offer in 4 days, which is just incredible, especially because this job offer came in at $10,000 above my asking price, which is just incredible to think about. Probably gonna take this job. In the end, I did end up taking that job. But really, any of the jobs I had applied to would have been fine. And that's honestly one of the best reasons to have multiple job offers. Really, just besides being able to use them to negotiate and get the best deal, just knowing that I've got options, knowing that several companies value my skills, and that if things don't work out at this company, I can just get another job offer somewhere else pretty simply. And it's for that and all of the other reasons that I think applying to several jobs is one of the best things you can do for yourself, if even just to help you know your own value. Now, maybe you just started your job search, or maybe you've been at it for months. Either way, if you need help preparing for your next interview, why not start right here with one of the most common interview questions you'll ever get. There are countless ways to answer this, but let me help you develop the best answer for you. If you want other videos on different interview techniques or just career advice in general, check out my channel right here, and there's loads of videos for you. Thanks, I'll see you next time.